स्पोर्ट्स से जुड़ी किसी भी छोटी या बड़ी अपडेट के लिए सब्सक्राइब करें स्पोर्ट्स तक और साथ ही किसी भी नोटिफिकेशन को पाने के लिए बेल आइकन को दबाना ना भूलें।
Now Shane Warne wears many a hat successfully, but the one that he wears very proudly is always fronting up for Rajasthan Royals. So Shane Warne's with us. Shane, quite a journey. I mean, starting off as a successful captain of the inaugural IPL, then getting into various cricketing capacities, and now sort of this brand ambassadorial role with the franchise.
Yeah, look, it's been my role for the Royals has evolved. You think back to the first year in 2008, and we managed to win the first year, which was pretty amazing. If you think back to, we were the underdogs. Everyone was saying, well, we think Mumbai is going to win, and everyone was critiquing every franchise. But there was one thing that was consistent and constant with everyone. The worst team is the Rajasthan Royals, and they'll finish on the bottom. So to go from captain coach for 4 years with the franchise and create our own history, because there was no history with the franchise, it was a fresh sheet of paper. We've now been involved for 10 years, obviously out for a couple of years as well. We're looking for things to do differently. So my role's been a consultant. It's been mentor with the team and helping the team. It's been captain coach, been consulting from a distance and helping the owners. And now this year, it's a brand ambassador. Because when you look at what the Rajasthan Royals stand for, we're a very popular franchise, one of the more popular franchises in India. But then if you think of a global scale, everyone looks at what the Royals are doing. Then if you look in India and you go, well, okay, who's everyone's second favourite team? Everyone's second favourite team is the Royals, because they all got a soft spot from that first year of the Rajasthan Royals. Got a soft spot for the Royals because we always unearth young talent. We always give young talent a go. And so I think if you put all of that in the mix, we're probably the most popular franchise on a global scale. So then how can we capitalise on that? How can we interact with the fans around the world? So my job this year as a brand ambassador is to push what the Rajasthan Royals stand for, which is integrity, honesty, win from any position, never ever give up. And then that's got a good correlation with business and life as well. So we're going to explore the States, we're going to explore the UK, Asia, Australia, and Europe, all over the world, of what can we do. Now, we've heard, Microsoft, for instance, have their own cricket ground now. Now, maybe it could be a Rajasthan Royals game versus Microsoft over in the States. Maybe it's aligning ourselves with businesses in America and helping grow their businesses and give our team messages and give speeches about mental health and how you can grow your team and business. So we're exploring all of that. There's nothing we're sort of saying this is what we want to achieve. It's a bit of an open book. And at the moment, we're just exploring all options. And I'm pushing the Rajasthan Royals. At the moment, the big thing we're pushing is our new change of colour, which is pink, which is pretty amazing. And the reason we're pink is a few. One, we like the colour. We think the colour's pretty cool. And we can't think of another sporting team that wears pink. Last year, when we supported the different cancer organisations, we looked at, for instance, the fort was turning pink, the ground turned pink, the whole of Jaipur turned pink. Rambagh Palace, where they would turn pink, and we're from the pink city. So there's a lot of reasons for pink, and we decided to run with it. It's a bit bold, as we always are. It's innovative, like we always are. And the feedback we've had from the fans is we want to see the guys in pink more. So we said, let's do it. And, the pink we've got and the pink you've seen here in the merchandise store is pretty awesome. And the feedback we're getting is amazing. So that's the first job. Now the next step is to, keep sending the message around the world. And there's a few other things in the pipeline when I come back next month that getting close to the tournament that we'll start to push to.
On the cricketing front, how do you see the Royals going this year? And a lot of fans curious to know how will Steve Smith go this year. Because this will be his first sighting after coming back to cricket in IPL. How do you see it? I mean, would it be an emotional wreck, or he'll be the Steve Smith that we've seen over the years?
Well, what the team has put together is an amazing squad. Obviously, a World Cup year, we're going to lose Steve Smith probably, and the England boys Butler and Stokes, and probably Jofra Archer. But we think they're going to play around 10, 11 games out of 14. So it's still a significant impact they could have on the tournament. So I believe that the squad the Rajasthan Royals has, I think it would be one of the favourites. Mumbai always one of the favourites, Chennai always one of the favourites, but we'll be right up there with the squad we have. So anything short of in the playoffs, I think, is a disappointing year. We've underachieved because we've got the squad. I think, when you think back to the first year, we won it. Been involved for 10 years. We haven't won it again. But we're in pink this year for the first time. I think there's a great correlation with the squad we have. We're in pink. I think it could be the Royals' year, this one.
And Shane, this is a World Cup year, and you've spoken about India being one of the fancied sides. You also factor in the fact that they've got something that a lot of other teams around the world don't have, two wrist spinners who they play in tandem in the playing 11, and then they don't just stop the runs. I mean, they're not supposed to stop the runs, but they pick up wickets. So that's a big up.
Yeah, well, I think India and England are the two favourites. I think if you look back over recent form, and you go, who's sort of set the benchmark in one-day cricket and who's played really well, that would be England and India. They've been the standout two teams. So I think they go in as favourites. And having Chahal, Kuldeep bowling, I think they're very, very good. And that's what you need, spinners in the middle overs that'll take wickets. But I think when you look at Australia and their record in ICC tournament trophies, like the World Cup trophies, we've won the most. And Australia always perform well on the big stage in those big tournaments. That's a proven fact. That's not a whatever you think. It's a fact. And with Warne and Smith coming back, they'll have a lot of points to prove. They'll be very hungry. They'll be very determined to do well. I think David Warner could possibly be the player of the tournament. I really do believe he could do well. And if you put those two guys in with people like Finch and Darcy Short and Stoinis, Sean Marsh, Maxwell, Stark, Cummins, suddenly you look at the side and you go, actually, they're a pretty good team. And they've got the backbone and the spine and the heart for the big tournaments and proven champions, the current World Cup holders. I think Australia will do really well in the World Cup and could win it as well. So England, India are the two favourites, but I think Australia could win it too. So they're my three sort of sides that I think one of those three will win.
This trend of wrist spinners sort of, having their noses in front, do you see that extending to long-form cricket as well? I mean, Ravi Shastri recently said they probably look to, have Kuldeep playing as their frontline spinner in overseas conditions. Ian Chappell I was speaking to the other day, and he was like, this is perhaps a trend. Finger spinners still find a way out.
Well, I'm biased. I want spinners to play all the time and play as many spinners as you can in the team, whether they're off-spin, leg spin. But the more leg spinners, the better for me. I think it's a proven fact that leg spinners can help you win games in all conditions, away from home, at home. I hope that India stick with some spinners, and Kuldeep, he gets a spot in any conditions because he's a class act.
Right. You have words of praise always for Virat Kohli. You see a bit of yourself in him. I know you're a spinner, he's a batsman, but just the way he approaches the game.
Well, I'm a huge fan of Virat. I think what Virat brings to the table in the worldwide game is passion. He's not one of those guys that just toes the line and says, what he's meant to say. He says how he feels. He's passionate. He's emotional. And I love that. I love how he brings to the table. And I love his cricket. I love the way he plays. I love the fact that he's a terrific leader of men. He's the biggest superstar in the world game in cricket, and he loves Test cricket. So I really respect that fact as an old-time player that loved Test cricket. I love that he's still pushing it and making it the most important form of the game. That's not to say that T20 is not fun. It's awesome. One-day cricket's awesome. But Test cricket is the history and the tradition of the game. And I love that he loves it too. So, I'm a huge fan of Virat.
Picture this, Shane Warne in his prime, running into bowl to Virat Kohli, Kookaburra ball in the hand. How would that battle go? Virat would cope all right?
Well, I bowled to Virat a few times, and I did get him out. But he was only, I think he must have been about 15 or something when he first started. Look, anytime you bowl to the best, you want to test yourself against the best. I'm sure Virat would have smashed me around the park just about every time I played, but maybe I would have got him out once or twice.
Last one on Virat to you, Shane. His captaincy, I mean, he obviously leads from the fronts, but tactically you think there are areas that you'd like Virat, the captain, to get better at?
Yeah, I saw one report. I wasn't having a go at Virat about tactically. I think he's the best leader of men, but I think tactically he could get better. I think he's a very good tactical captain, but I think every captain can always get better. And the more you do it, the better you get. You're never the best captain when you first start. It takes a few years to captain to understand how to get the best out of players, tactically rise, when to be aggressive, when not to be, what fields to set, and all those different things, and how aggressive and when you declare situations of games. So that evolves and you become better. So I think Virat Kohli is a good tactical captain, but he can be better, and he will get better the more he does it. So yeah, look, I think at the moment there's probably some tactical captains out there, like Tim Payne. I think is a very good tactical captain. I think Kane Williamson is a very good tactical captain. They can get better too, and I think Virat in time will become a terrific tactical captain too.
The last couple of things, Shane. We debate a lot about MS Dhoni in Indian cricket. He had this man of the series winning performance against Australia, so that would have helped his confidence. But perhaps one thing that we've seen we cannot no longer do, one cannot say, but one does, is perhaps score a 10, 12 and over, setting up a target, or chase. This is the kind of thing that he used to do. So India would need to reassess what they can expect out of MS Dhoni as they go into the big World Cup.
Well, I think if you're going to win World Cups, and I've played in a few and we've won a few, you need your best, most experienced players to perform. If your best players and your most experienced players perform, you'll win the World Cup. So India need MS Dhoni at his best for the World Cup. India need MS Dhoni in their team. And MS Dhoni has always done what's best for the team. Whether bat number 4, number 5, number 6, whatever the game dictates and the situation of the game dictates, MS Dhoni will adapt. And if they need 8 to 10 runs and over, he'll adapt and he'll do it. And he's done it. He's a proven fact. He doesn't have to prove anything to anyone. There's been talks about Rishabh Pant should be in the side. I think Dhoni and Pant could play. I can't see why Rishabh Pant couldn't play as a batsman. I think he's outstanding. Maybe even open the batting with Rohit Sharma. I mean, Shikhar Dhawan does a great job, but Rishabh Pant and Rohit Sharma opening the batting could be pretty cool too for India. And I think some of those little X-factor type things and little tactical battles where you go, let's surprise the opposition. It could be worth throwing Rishabh Pant up the order for a game or two and just see how he goes, in maybe against Australia coming up now, or experiment with it and see how he goes, and then use it as a weapon in the World Cup. Shikhar Dhawan might have another role to play somewhere else. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to what India have, because they've got a lot of players that could do a lot of roles. But MS Dhoni, they need in their team, because he'll adapt to any situation and he'll deliver because he's class.
Lovely. Thanks for your time. Always a pleasure, Shane.
No worries.
Thanks so much.
Ta.